please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Jeffy.
Friesen. Here. Sims.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Peterson. Here. Bishop. Here.
All right, call to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being recorded by the City of Grant. The City of Grant abides by the Nebraska Open Meeting Act in conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meeting Act is on display in this meeting room as required by the Nebraska state law on the south wall. The mayor and the city council reserve the right to enter into a closed session at any time during the meeting in accordance with the Nebraska Open Meeting Act, even though the closed session may not be indicated on the agenda. It is the intention of the mayor and the city council to take up items on the agenda in the order they are presented above. However, we reserve the right to take matters up in a different order to accommodate our schedule if we choose. Anyone wishing to speak to public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person with a limit of 2 individuals speaking per topic position. Please come to the podium. Clearly state your name and address for the record and the agenda topic you wish to speak on. Let's see, everyone get a chance to review the agenda.
Move to accept the August 8th, 2023 proposed agenda.
Second.
Andrea moved and Kimberly second that we accept the August 8th, 2023 proposed agenda. Any discussion? Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Andrea? Yes. Tierney?
Yes.
Kimberly? Yes. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Review and action of prior meeting minutes, July 24th.
Move to accept action on prior meeting minutes for July 24th, 2023 and waive the reading.
Second.
Tierney moved, Sam second, that we accept the prior meeting minutes from July 24th, 2023 and waive the reading. Any discussion? Andrea, how do you vote? Yes. Sam?
Yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, communications, sir.
Absolutely. So let's start with a couple of upcoming meetings here. So the library board will meet tomorrow at 5:15 at the library. A tree board will meet at 4 p.m. on the 15th here at City Hall. And then I will be in Kearney in the 16th and 17th. We will have our budget workshop on the 21st, 7, right? And then our next city council meeting, 7 p.m. on the 22nd. And one more important date this month will be our budget hearing on the 30th at 7 p.m. with a backup of September 6th. That date does not work for whatever reason. Just a special note here, we were supposed to hold cruise night last Friday. Storms rolled through and we had to postpone it. So we rescheduled to August 11th in conjunction with the Perkins County Chamber. We have sponsored that event. So cruise night on the 11th, 6 p.m. And then cruising starts at 7. So free hot dogs and water and chips. We had ICS, Jesse, was that name? ISO, thank you. ISO rep came through and did a audit on the water system with specifically focused on fire prevention. We gained some favorable points by the upgrades that we did on the west side of town, so that was good. We will not know what, we get a score, they give us a grade. Currently last time we were graded was 2017, and we were a grade 4 or class 4 fire protection community. So we'll get a new grade. It takes about 4 to 6 months. So we'll know our new fire protection grade after that. So that was kind of neat experience to meet with him. Billy got to spend most of the morning with him as well as the fire chief. So, and then my other reports are in standing committee reports. So.
Okay. Andrew, do you have any report?
No.
Kimberly?
I do not. There was a planning meeting today. I was unable to
Ernie,
attend.
Sam?
Okay, we will start with the planning and, or sorry, CRA met on August 4th. Well, they approved their budget, which is in your packet, for your approval this evening. And then they approved to sign the purchase agreement for 309 East 6th. So that we can move forward with our infill project that's working so well in partnership with Southwest Nebraska Community Betterment Corporation and Amy Thielander. So exciting news for that. Planning Commission met at noon today. They did approve the conditional use permit for Nicole and Casey Jaden for Jaden Ranch. That will be on the August 22nd agenda for you guys to approve. We did have a cemetery board meeting just before this. Big ticket item there that we're talking about is kind of wrapping up getting the Baby Land Stone finished in that project, checked off their list. So, and their budget was approved as well and is in your packet for consideration this evening.
Right, very good. Enforcement and water report was in the packet. Everyone had a chance to look at that? All right. Financials, Jesse?
They're in process.
Very good. Public comment? Please, state your name and address for the record and the topic you wish to speak to.
Yep, my name is Wade Hill. Address is Grand Nebraska, code 768. Anyway, my topic I would like to bring up is, I don't know if you guys are aware, but recently I've been involved with the funeral out at the cemetery, and the cactus are completely out of control. And just talking to people, I mean, when I'm hearing, of course it's hearsay, but they said the city was gonna handle some of that stuff last year. And it doesn't appear anything's being done about it. I don't know what the steps are, what we need to do, but I mean, it's kind of, when we come out there to church shoes, sandals, I mean, my girls, every one of them have a cactus in them before the funeral. I mean, I just think we need to be concentrating on maybe getting something done there. So. Anyway, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. Unfinished business. Jesse, would you please read ordinance number 230701?
Ordinance number 23-07-01, an ordinance for the compensation of all officers and employees of the city of Grant for the fiscal year of October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024, repealing all other conflicting ordinances and conflicting sections of ordinances and providing for that effective date.
So Jesse and I had an opportunity to complete the budget worksheets. I had an opportunity to speak with the county assessor, who was able to give me some ballpark figures. Based on those figures and how far I think we're going to continue to fall behind, I think we have room within this year's budget to do a variable community average adjustment again. That will be completely up to you guys. Include all the data in your packet. Fortunately, that's kind of one of those things we don't know until we get to the worksheets semi-done and the evaluation from the assessor. And again, these are just working on ballpark figures. She's giving me a conservative estimate, so if anything, her estimate will go up, and that would be. She's been pretty close to spot on. So just thought I'd give you guys the most current information as it pertains to that. So if there's any questions, I can sure field them.
And the current one that is in front of us has the libraries to change in it.
Yes, I did reflect the library wages. they did get those to me, so.
That be decided on before the budget meeting?
Preferably, I mean, if we could, I mean, I'm about a meeting early on this one actually this year, Sam. We could table this until an August 22nd meeting. But that's up to you guys, And as you can see, not every position needs a comparable community average. We've got several that are already in line, or above.
Reasonable table it, and you see what the rest of the budget lays out. Maybe changes. Maybe changes to the whole budget picture. For meeting early, then it's not okay to table it for the closing meeting.
Yeah, we'll have the actual valuation and the spreadsheet with the I do, yeah. So we'll have that with the actual numbers in there, showing what effects actually to the budget are and what we need to do up next.
I'll make a motion then to table the action discussion on ordinance number 2307 the next meeting.
Sam moved and Tierney second that we table action on ordinance number 230701 until the next meeting. Any discussion? Tierney, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. That was very good. New business. Action and discussion on request to be placed on the agenda by Mr. Wendell. Discussion with Mayor, Council, West Central Nebraska Development District on the nuisance ordinance process. Mr. Wendell has asked for this to be tabled. Until the next meeting, correct, sorry.
Was still all of the below present? Is that what you're asking for still?
What was that?
With all of the below present, the West Central District present?
And Marlon, and, yeah,
You're asking if,
If that's what you want, is that what you're asking for, is for West Central? to be
not
present at
not
the-
necessarily, I mean, they're welcome to.
So I make a motion that we table the request to be placed on the agenda for the August 22nd meeting.
Andrea moved and Tierney second that we table the request to be placed on the agenda to the August 22nd meeting. Any discussion? Kimberly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tierney?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Andrea?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, guys. Action and discussion on the library 23-24 budget presentation. Sure.
The quick changes. All right, basically what we did, is we're hoping for
raising our assistant librarians hourly wages from 13 to 15. We backed off and came right down the middle at 14. And then we trimmed just, I think, 3 hours a week off of one of our assistant librarians, to make the budget work, given the number that you guys approved. And then I guess what that's gonna result in is we'll have the library closed on Friday afternoons, but I think that's a very workable schedule. And there may be, some changes to the schedule once we get into it. We'll just have to see. Robin kind of mentioned that at the last meeting. But basically, that's what we did, is we, kind of trimmed on wages, and then we did put a little bit extra into office supplies, to balance stuff out, basically. So I can answer any questions that you might have, but
So you increase the library directors,
that did not change from the last meeting that I spoke to.
all right, so that to 23 by 10%. And decreased, one of your assistants' hours.
Yep, like 3 hours a week. But raised both of them from $13 to $14 an hour.
And that will start for that employee that will be cut for 3 hours as of
October 1.
October 1st. A week.
Yeah, 3 hours. So our assistant librarians are budgeted for 25 hours a week each. So, one will still be at 25 and one will be at 22. What we budgeted for.
Then what time will the library close on Fridays?
That's probably noon. I'm thinking that, I can't remember what Robin said. I think she wants to match maybe Saturday's hours just to reduce confusion. So open 9 to noon on Saturdays, so probably open 9 to noon on Fridays as well. I think.
That wasn't voted on at the meeting.
No, we haven't voted on any hours yet, just the budget is really all we handled in the wages.
What are the current Friday hours?
And 5. I think we're closed over lunch on Friday too, because Sarah's the only one there on Fridays typically.
Is that the day that you have like the least amount of attendance in the afternoon, or?
I assume so, and that's the day that Sarah's there by herself, that's Sarah's hours are the ones being cut, so it makes sense to cut hours on Friday, a day that she's there working on.
We need to accept that invitation in a motion.
Not listed in the presentation.
Any more questions?
If we wanted to discuss this as council, can we go into executive session to discuss the fact that personnel, yeah, because hours are being, joining the state that we would like to go into executive session to discuss the fact that personnel issues. I would move that we go into executive session and listen about cutting hours.
And who would you like to in this session?
I would listen to Tana.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Andrea moves, Sam second, that we go into executive session with the council members and Tana present. Everyone else will need to leave, and this is at step 9, or any discussion? Sorry, I'm ahead of myself.
Ed, would it be appropriate to say about how many hours Sarah averages currently? Before they go into executive session?
She's roughly at 23 now. Guessing my figure. Well, I mean, from the last pay period. That's the most current.
So yeah, we budget for 25 for her, but she's falls between 22 and 23 on average every week.
Andrea has made a motion, Sam's second to go into executive session. Kimberly has a vote. Yes. Jen?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
And Andrew? Motion carried. You're in executive session at 7:19.
Okay.
Actual numbers are,
You know where those hours of overtime come from with the library now? When I'm looking on Facebook, I'm not seeing your hours, not open 40 hours a week. So you know where those hours of overtime come from?
so they are there, like, there's a lot of non-patron facing hours just to try to get stuff done.
Okay,
So a lot of her, if she has overtime, that'll happen in summer reading timeframe, because that is crush time for the library. So the June timeframe.
The puzzle competitions, then I think main one.
Puzzle tournament, so that happens the first Saturday in April.
okay. I will say one thing I want to mention, sometimes a public concern has been that, you know, we have two 25-hour employees, that's 50 hours, and then another 40-hour employee, that's 90 hours a week, and we're not seeming able to keep that, we're not even able to stay open 40 hours. So I just want to let you be aware of that's a concern that's been brought to the council. And just want to share that feedback with you. I don't know if you've already had that or not, but I just
Yeah,
want, okay,
we've heard that feedback.
okay.
And I think when we look at maybe adjusting some hours, we might be able to change some open hours, moving some staff around so that we're able to be more open for more public facing time. Or having more times when there's not just one employee in the library. So you've got somebody who can work the desk and somebody who's behind the scenes doing the other stuff that needs to happen.
And are you still open till 7 o'clock on Wednesdays?
On Wednesdays, that will likely change. That was kind of a trial and just doesn't seem to be a good night.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's something that we're gonna discuss further.
Fine. Questions?
I guess I just wanted to make sure you guys did know that, it isn't a balanced budget. So that you guys are aware at this time with it, if you look at the, expenses, revenue, it's $1,000 more than expenses. And then technically, if you look at memorial and donations, it is, they got an extra 1,000 in the revenue side to expense. So that would actually put an additional 1,000 into the savings account. So it's technically $2,000 off, just so that you are aware of that. So that would count cash if they didn't watch that during your budget process.
Thank you. I do have one more question, sorry. Appreciate that. Last time we were here, the director had been with the library for 16 years. Do you know how long the other employees have been with the library?
8 years.
Both eight?
Both of them, they were on board at the same time.
So they were on board.
Okay. Thank you.
And the employee that, hours that were cut, how we should cancel.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
It does make it really hard.
It does, the employees that, hours that were gonna be cut, how we should cancel.
How was she counseled?
I,
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
I believe that, it'll be like instead of her getting a 4% COLA, it'll be a 5% decrease in her pay. 5.5. And that is like an employee city concern as far as, you know, getting in some kind of trouble with, help me out.
Just fairness of.
Right.
To make sure that persons of similar, especially if they were onboarded at the same time, those two employees are getting compensated the same for basically the work that they're doing, especially where we don't necessarily have where they're hourly employees and one is getting the 4% raise and one is in essence getting the 5.5% increase. That could cause some employee issues within the city operations.
And there is a concern, as far as I'm concerned, with the reduction in hours, on Friday. That is a concern, where we did give an increase to the library's budget and decrease other departments' budget to give that increase. So that's also a concern too. Questions? Oh, yeah, that. Doesn't school get early Fridays? Yeah, it's-
So, you said that you guys had not finalized if there was going to, well, you had finalized a reduction of hours, but you had not finalized the day.
No, Robin suggested Friday afternoons, so that has not been voted on.
Yeah, I think with school getting out early, that, I don't know, maybe you said like the Wednesday night thing maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense until 7 p.m. So maybe that would be a better option than reducing Friday hours.
Yeah, that's fine, it's still maneuvering employee hours around, so it might still be that there's only one person that works on Friday. It was kind of a problem, I guess, but that'll have to be something that Robin irons out and works with. I don't arrange employees or even.
Right.
Early on.
Yeah, and we appreciate you, and we're sorry you're in the spotlight right now, but we just had all these questions that.
That's fine, and yeah, I'm not gonna have all the answers, but I'm happy to take your concerns back to the board. Our meeting is tomorrow at 5:15 in the library.
I was just gonna say, we do have a little bit of, the concern of being closed more, we're giving more money and then cutting the hours. And why only one person can work on Friday when there's 3 employees, and it's a 40-hour, not even open 40 hours. I guess we have some concerns as to why it would have to be cut if you go around without depending on somebody else's hours.
Well, and Robin
It is a
had
concern.
talked that possibly we could be open a little bit earlier other days of the week, because if we're closed Friday afternoons, that would shift some of Sarah's hours to during the week, so then you have more coverage during other hours. The problem is, you come into the library, you wanna check out a book, and you wanna chit chat with the librarians. And that's fine, that's what they're there for. But then they get nothing else done. So you might be at the desk, but all you're doing is helping patrons check out books and socializing with them. And there's all this stuff back here that still needs to be done. So if you're the only one at the library, you don't get all that stuff done. You're busy helping patrons. So that's been the problem, is trying to juggle all the stuff that needs to get done in the back room when you need to be helping people.
But if they're there at 8 o'clock in the morning and it doesn't open until 10, that's 2 hours of dead time to be able, especially if there's 2 there.
I agree, you should have enough time to get everything done. Again, I'm not there from 8 to 10 to know what all is done and should be done and.
I
what
think
needs
that's
to
a
be done.
question probably then for Robin that has come from the community is, and admittedly, like, I've done the math, the council has done the math. The question is about open hours of the library versus staff hours. It ends up being 90 hours of staffing a week and 35 open hours. That's a lot of behind the scenes, non-customer facing time. And the council has provided extra money in the budget for a service. The library is a service to the community, so having a response and a reduction of open hours seems very backwards for what we're trying to accomplish. So if there's no other questions, I guess with that, I would make the motion. So I will make a motion actually to table the approval of the library's budget until the next meeting. And the calculation of a 5.5% increase for an employee is $884. I think the budget can be reduced by that amount, and we can find another way to do it. I hate to put that on you, but you're the representative of the library.
No, I'll take it back to the board.
Did you say 884?
So minus 884, what was the original approved? And again, I think the concern is, this is a city employee that has been impacted negatively by an additional budget. Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, we are bringing her hours to more realistically what she works. We always budget for 25, but she's coming in at 22 to 23.
The money's going elsewhere. Like,
Right,
it's been
so-
budgeted, but it hasn't been worked. The whole perception of adding to the community's budget, a community services budget, and then reducing the hours. I can't
Sure,
approve
yeah,
that.
well, and we chose to put that money towards our director this year. And that's what we decided to do. It's unfortunate that, 70% of or 78% of our budget is personnel.
Which is wages, which would be programming and,
It's not programming, it's
well,
wages,
well, the
insurance,
wages,
retirement.
well, it is programming because you have to pay that person an hourly wage to do the program. So,
But it happens within open hours. But we've also trimmed our budget in every other category, so it makes our personnel costs that much higher of percentage.
so
Yeah,
Kim,
I've got a
should you go ahead and finish?
I'm trying,
It was, I think it's 115,760.
760, okay.
No?
I guess I'm not tracking.
So
I got the table till on August 22nd, and then
So what their proposal was at the last city council for their budget, what was that total?
126,963.
Okay, so I got that one.
So then you would reduce it by $884. So their budget would be
126,079.
yeah, we want to budget for the library to offer services to the community. Not to reduce open hours and to reduce staffing hours. I understand wanting to take care of your director, but doing that at the cost of another employee is a concern. And I think that's the best way for me to state that.
Sure.
So, okay. Again, sorry you're delivering the bad news and we're delivering it right back, but, okay, so what was the -8? Can somebody do the
126,079.
126,079. Okay, so tabling the decision on the library budget until the next meeting and, offering the library a budget of 126,079 to balance.
Okay, so that is a decrease. Okay.
Okay.
Kimberly moved, Tierney second, that we table the library's budget to our next meeting, decreasing their franchise fees to $126,079. Any more discussion?
I think what Jesse mentioned about it not being balanced is also important to reason to also table it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that'll give us a chance. Historically, it has always been unbalanced. And Ed made the catch at our budget meeting that he wasn't quite sure why it was done that way. And of course, before I was in this position, Brenda Sisson was here for numerous years, and that's just how she worked the budget. So it wasn't that it was unbalanced, it was just, she didn't quite interpret it the same way that Ed does, and yeah, so we'll hopefully address that tomorrow. But yeah, to reflect that we have the savings account available to use as well.
Okay. Any more discussion? Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Andrew? Yes. Kimberly?
Yes.
Jenny?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much.
And we appreciate you,
Yes.
Ashley, thank you. You know,
Did I get notes or something, an amount that I can take to the meeting
Yes.
tomorrow, by
Yes.
tomorrow?
Absolutely.
So did the agenda get amended to include the budget?
It hasn't, it'll have to be,
A special meeting.
well, or can we,
Within 24 hours, you can't amend it.
yeah, no, it didn't happen, so.
So, okay.
So it'll have to be a special meeting.
so there was nothing on the agenda to even say whether the budget was approved or not? On
We
the
approved
library's
it.
budget? No, I'm talking to, there's nothing on there that even says anything about whether she'd come back and say whether it's approved tonight or not, or anything?
Not on the library.
That's what I'm asking.
No, because they approved it in their special board meetings.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, action and discussion on the cemetery 23-24 budget presentation.
All right, so I will go through this with you here. So I did make the change to keep the franchise fee, as you stated in the last meeting, the same as it was last year, 32,505.80. A lot of the numbers we anticipate being similar. We did have a little bit more grave openings this year. We're always conservative when it comes to the revenue side. You don't want to overestimate on your revenue and overestimate on your expense. Underestimate on revenue and overestimate on expense.
Right.
So that's kind of the methodology here. You can look at the forecast. We'll be in a good position, we think, at this current time and date and time with a positive cash balance this year. So that's always good to know that we're putting money back into the fund. Capital outlay, I'm gonna touch on here. At the meeting, we, with the board had discussed purchasing a stone to finish the Babyland project. Revelations are underway that now that stone will be donated. However, we're going to keep that money in there in the event that it gets backed out or, so that's what the capital outlay
Well,
is.
it's not done until the check is
Exactly.
for
And
deposited.
we may have an issue with the mower too, so that gives us some.
Yes, yeah, so if it does, we do have room in there for, we need to talk about purchasing a mower for a 42-inch mower for out there, so. There is some room in there if it does come to fruition for that. Chemicals and pests, anticipate that being similar to this year. Try and hit the major one here, dues and training stays the same. Wages and salary, don't anticipate a huge increase in there. FICA's reflected, retirement's reflected. We budgeted 20,000 for memorial and donations on the income side and the expense side, so the event that we do get those, we can expend it. We did receive the donation this year for the brick column repair. I don't anticipate us at this point being able to complete that project and expend the funds this year, so it's getting carried over to next year. So a large portion of that, 50% of it will be done next year in the memorial and donations. Supplies and repairs, obviously we all know nothing's going down in that world. Fuel, again, nothing going down in that world. Last 30 days, gas has gone up $1 a gallon. Professional services, that'd be the filing and stuff like that. If we have time to work on anything, review anything, there are times where we have to do a little research for a deed or something like that. All in all, we're negative 13,863.21. Don't expect to expend that much because I think we will get the donation for the capital outlay. So
Do we need to add, to, I guess it would be supplies for chemicals to take care of the grounds maybe?
no, that's in chemicals and pests, and we're good in that department. We are taking care of that problem.
So in the unbalanced in it would be the capital outlay and what was the other additional?
think that was the capital outlay in the 2,000 roughly for, what we might have to spend over the memorial donations for the replacement of the brick columns and stuff. So it's about 863, 1,863.21 in there.
And I guess I forgot to look at this, do you think that will that donation potentially come in and out, that we actually need to increase it?
No,
They're gonna directly
I think they're gonna direct. Sorry, talking about the stone, I think it's gonna be, I don't think any money will exchange anything, I think it'll be exchange of goods, so I don't think we need to mess with it. Neither did the cemetery board when they approved it. That's the dollar amount for the memorial donations.
It's more kind of like the current condition of the cemetery. I know we had a comment, in public comment, I have also been approached a couple of times, so you said, we're working on it. Is it a change of chemical? Is it more
So
man hours needed?
a combination of both.
Anything we need to financially prepare for
No,
there?
no,
Because
Yeah, we need to increase it for my house.
No, absolutely not. I don't think so, no. So it's a combination of both, actually. So it's a 2-year process for what we're currently doing. And we're working with our Jerdon rep for that. Recommended a program specifically for the cactuses. The chemical that he recommended is a pretty harsh chemical, so it's not a broadcast chemical that you just go out and put in a sprayer and spray the whole dang thing. So it's spot spraying. It's some of them you actually have to dig up because they're past the point of killing. So it is an addition in a small addition in man hours, more spot spraying as they're mowing.
Thank you. And the kiosks and everything.
Kiosk is back up, got the new screen installed, everything's running right now as it should. Knock on wood. So yeah, it's came in a little bit quicker than I think even Steve from Lindy Prairie had thought, so.
Guess we need to accept the budget or?
Yes,
Move to send action on grant community. Sanitary. I did. That's what I said. To set action on the cemetery fiscal year 23-24 budget. Second.
Tierney moved, Henry second, that we accept the cemetery's 23-24 fiscal budget, as presented. Any discussion? Tierney, how do you vote?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
All right, motion carried. All right, action and discussion on the Grant Community Redevelopment Authority budget presentation.
absolutely. So CRA budget, they met, they did approve their budget as well. Had an opportunity to speak with Tom. There was some minimal increases this year. There was nothing that was like earth shattering as far as, it's gonna be $100,000 more for the infrastructure project or whatever. So we plugged in some new numbers there as far as that goes, for the sewer and water main extension, for the extension to the new subdivision that we're planning on the CRA owned property on East Fourth. So that is sort of the grants and bonds. And how I come up with that number is the capital outlay minus the loan from economic development and the pool checking. And that gives us about 1.25 that we'll need to bond in order to complete the entire project. Those numbers may come in lower. They may come in drastically higher when we actually go out to bid for the project. So we may have another conversation. How much can we afford to do? So as of right now, this is where Tom thinks those numbers might come in at. Again, once we get bid documents done and received, those numbers may change, and we talk about amending the budget or figuring out how to make it work with what we've approved. So the loan from the economic development, 100,000, the pool checking, 357.5. TIP income is new. So we had a TIP project that was completed over at 204 Hancock. That number's probably gonna come in a little bit lower, but we don't really know because the assessed value won't happen until January of 2024. So this is what the board felt like was a good number to start. And I also checked with Mr. Bacon on this as well. So this will be what we receive in income from the TIF project. TIF is tax increment financing, so it's the taxes divided to us, to the CRA, over a period of time not to exceed the amount that we expended in infrastructure improvements for it, which was 40,000. So we can't exceed that amount. I don't anticipate, neither does Mr. Bacon at this time, based on what we think the valuation will be, that we'll probably hit that 40,000. So we won't probably make back all of our investment. That's a risk we take, and we're okay with that because we actually added a property to the tax rules and increased a vacant lot. We improved a vacant lot. So added the family is living there and happy, and it's really nice. So decrease, again, a common theme you're gonna see in these budgets is I cut where I could cut. Knowing that we're just as much as everybody else, we're in crunch. So wages, that would be if the guys, if we charge for mowing, if we have any excess things that they have to do. I know 245 Lincoln, we may have to go remove the garage. It's kind of leaning, and that may have to happen before the grant gets approved because of safety. I don't think it will, but if it has to, that's where it would come from. That is the public works employees' wages budgeted in there. Tipping fees, again, if we have to take anything from removal or access to the landfill itself, we would pay tipping fees out of that. Telephone and postage is gonna go up. It'd probably be $1 per stamp by January at this point. Just exaggerating, but it's gonna be high. And then the FICA retirement obviously reflects the wages. Real estate tax, that was Jesse's best calculation on what we had for numbers this year and plus adding an additional property that they just purchased where we think that will end up, so $1,100. Professional services, that would be Mr. Bacon and or whatever we have time review and help prepare for us, so. And obviously you're getting your own repayment.
Gotta do that.
Does capital outlay also include the property on the other side of Stump's property, this capital outlay, that's 1.6 million?
That's the property I'm talking about, East Fourth, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any updates on that from the engineers or anything like that?
We're still waiting on the boundary survey. We're on the surveyor's list and we've tried to make him move faster, but we're on his list where we're on his list. That's
Right, he's coming by Pony Express.
Might be riding a pony over here. So, yeah, no, that's as much as I know at this
I
point.
understand, yeah, thank you for the update on that.
I do anticipate once we do get those documents back, that we'll be able to build the bid documents rather quickly, and so does Tom. As he's already built most of them. So we'll be able to move forward with the bidding process on the actual construction items themselves. I'm hopeful this fall, with the spring construction start timeline, depending upon where those numbers come back.
Sure.
With developable and or sellable lots sometime in fall of winter of 24. And that's a very aggressive goal, but it's a goal.
Sure. Where's our boundary survey guy coming from?
It's Dickinson Land Surveyors, I don't know.
Okay.
About the only surveyor, I think, really in the area, isn't it?
And they can charge whatever.
Cause they're.
Well, and to be honest with you, I think the last time that Brent Bertrand, also from TC Engineering, had a chance to speak with him, Brent's been doing the majority of the mapping and stuff like that for us. He has told him that he could spend all of his time out at the Lemoyne and the lake properties and not go anywhere else and be just fine. So there's plenty of other, with him being the only one in the area and only having so many, you have to be a licensed surveyor in order to do this work, a board licensed surveyor by the state to do this work. So it is difficult. Obviously, we struggle with finding entry level jobs, try to find a state certified surveyor. So But, yeah. So we're on his list, that's where we are on his list, that's the last one, that's the last comment I got, so.
All right, thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you for presenting that for the board.
Make a motion to approve the Grant Community Redevelopment Authority fiscal year 23-24 budget proposal.
Second.
Kimberly moved. Sam second, that we accept the Grant Community Redevelopment Authority fiscal year 23-24 budget. Any more discussion? Andrea, how do you vote?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Jenny? Kimberly?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. All right. These are budget worksheets for our review. To give us a little taste.
This is your taste, this is your 30,000 foot view, obviously, we're gonna have a budget workshop. We're gonna have the council meeting, we're gonna have a public hearing, so we have 2 more times to sort of look at these before we finalize what needs to be printed in the newspaper.
We'll only have the budget workshop.
Right, sorry, the
And what
21st,
day, then that's the day before, right? I
yes,
forgot. Okay, so that, we're having the budget workshop at
21st.
7 o'clock on the 21st.
Yep.
You guys will have to make your decision on the tax asking so that it can go in the hearing if we're gonna have it the 30th. At that budget workshop. So I mean, you'll be able to visit about it, but we'll have some of that stuff set in stone because the hearing will be in process then.
Okay, but the budget workshop is at 7 o'clock on August 21st. Is what we decided last. Thank you, I'm sorry, that's my bad, I forgot to write that down.
Otherwise, if you guys aren't ready, then it would get pushed to that September 6th. But we'll have to have the decision made so that we know if we gotta go on with this part or not. Before the 1st of September, wasn't it?
so again, these are semi-rough, I mean, Leslie and I spent quite a bit of time getting the forecast as close as we could, and then using that forecast to help us in the preparation of the proposed budget. We can go. I really wanted this to be your time to comment. I know you'd only seen them since over the weekend and Monday, but we can go page by page. However you want to do it, I guess. It's up to you.
I kind of want to start maybe backwards with, this.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So I've included the historical data for the franchise fee and transfer comparison. That's the last page before the bills and claims. That kind of highlights what we've done in the past and then what we're proposing for this year. Obviously, that number will now change with the change in the library's budget. So we'll have some funds to add to another department there, if you so choose. At the bottom, I was trying to do the proposed tax asking. Obviously, this year it's zeros because I don't know it. What I can tell you is that Tracy, our auditor, has approved a reduction in our debt service amount. So this year, you remember we originally asked for 50,000 at the beginning of the repayment. We went down to 30 last year. Tracy thinks we can go down to 20 for the upcoming year. So that's good news for the taxpayers. We'll be able to reduce that section of it. And that's highlighted at the bottom in black, sorry. Once we have the valuation, I'll be able to put those numbers in there. And then we have the postcard valuation, or the postcard formula as well. So we'll be able to know exactly how much we can ask for, if you so choose, before we have to go on the postcard, the 3% threshold, or 2% plus the allowable. So, was there any specific thing you wanted to highlight, Lisa, on this page, or?
No, I just wanted to get a look at this before we look
Absolutely.
at the breakdown in the different departments.
I don't know, I've been doing 10 years, I can do less, I can compare to 5, I just think if I've got the data, why not show it to you?
I kind of like it because it shows like the trend.
And it does summarize it, because it's hard when you're doing, as we talk, the library and stuff, some of the access and the franchise, and just overall.
And that does it, and you have that with each department too, so that's what I remember.
I really intended this just to be your first view of the sheets. You'll have these until our budget workshop.
What was the income for park and recreation? Sorry, backing down to the other sheets now.
You're okay. Okay.
We did go down, I mean, from the prior year, for, just down stuff. Part of that was when we were in the weather, and we knew that some of it was gonna be funny. The concession, we didn't have a tournament at the fall program this year, so that adjusted to that too this year. But, we were forecasting that we were gonna have a good, last year we were really close to almost. We gave much of it from the concessions, so that we would have it, monitored a little better and stuff, but it's felt better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you wanna look at that, you wanna probably take out the capital outlay, which is where you're spending your cash from. I mean, they've got a lot of cost of that, so they're in a good position. Like Jesse said, we had to adjust some prices based on cost of goods went up. So we did adjust some prices at the concession stand. That provided a little bit more wiggle room in, because last year we were so close to losing money. It was almost a break even, to be honest with you. And when you talk about having to pay concession stand workers' wages down there, then we are losing money in that aspect. But as far as the pool, not registration, annual sales and fees, again, a little bit of a dip, but we had, I think, seven days that we were closed, well, 8 if you count this last Friday, 8 days because of weather where we were closed this year. So you take a week out of there, and it hurts. I mean, we're can't open unless it's 70 degrees out, and we lose employees. It's time to shut it down. So.
And I did wanna mention that, the sales tax amount is still in there, and we have that in the capital outlay, so that would offset. That was still for the printer baller, protection for the pool kind of thing. And hopefully we'll get done right around the end of the fiscal year, time frame is the plan, hopefully.
And we are planning on doing it this year, so.
And the inside project.
Yes, so I
Started.
I met with Tristan and got everything going, so I'll be excited to unveil that. It'll be one of those things that's been on the list for too long.
Which, by saying that, that's why the memorial and donation expense is a higher amount than the revenue side. And it looks like it's more than the savings currently, because right now we have money that is in the donations that will get transferred into the savings at the end of the fiscal year, so it'll be extended, and then it'll be available next year. And that is for the park benches and the balance of the wall.
Yeah, the 367,
Yeah.
360, 357.6.
So,
So that normally memorial donations and grant expense should always, if you got 100 up top, you gotta put 100 down below. But because we're going to transfer and expend out of savings, that's why that number is more on the expense side than it is on the income side. Just like we talked about earlier on the library side, we wanna show that we're going to expend our savings. So we have to put more on the expense side than the income side.
Okay, very good. Is there any?
We still have, if you know of anybody, let them know, we'll do another push here, but, we still have park benches if people would like to purchase a memorial, park bench for sales.
And cemetery flagpole and plaques.
And cemetery flagpole and plaques, while you're talking about memorial, or donations or sales, yeah.
Any unexpected capital outlay projects that are coming?
Capital outlay, again, I'll have the capital outlay sheet for you at the budget workshop. Really in that department, we're talking about the tennis, the fence around the tennis court at the park. New dugouts for the Pee Wee field, and shade for the ball field, so.
Okay.
That's really where both of the capital outlay projects are coming from. And then the next major project, which I've just added to the future capital outlay list, is that. I'm trying to work with, I just sent an email to NEMA, trying to see if there's any way to put a tornado shelter, or to have the bathrooms be a tornado shelter style building down there. I know you don't get a lot of money for it, because they're really just focused on the exterior walls. But I want to see if there's a grant opportunity available for that, so before we actually budget for it.
From what I understood it, they pay for the extra reinforcement, basically, they
Right.
won't, so that, I think they take.
Sorry, I said exterior, I meant
Yeah.
extra.
Yes, so they take what the building would be and then give you the balance of what would it.
Is that the
be to
grant we went
reinforce it.
over? Is that the same grant we went over when we went to the League of Municipality meetings a year and a half ago?
It is,
Okay,
it is.
okay, yeah, that
So-
was a pretty good, as long as you build it, as long as you have a tornado shelter with it, they give you some pretty good things.
So,
Also
yeah.
just not a bad idea, given the season and.
Well, yeah.
And there's a
Yeah.
storm every,
Yeah, yeah.
it seems like.
There's not-
Any question about I know these will come back to us a few more times, but was there anything that?
Yeah, if there's anything else that stood out to you, obviously, we've already approved the police contract, so that one's an easy one to do.
The federal grants, it's not showing anything, but there is the airport project, and of course, it's gonna just go in and out, we don't have any of the cash reserves going for the project this year, so that's why there's no amount of transfers.
Water, we tried to keep the 15%, as well as waste. We're not anticipating any huge capital outlay, we don't need any equipment purchases at this time. Again, future capital outlay projects coming up, and we need to build up our cash reserve a little bit more before we talk about that.
Longer,
What's that?
a longer runway?
Someday. The airport does have a project, we are, hopefully Congress approves the appropriation of funds this year. They haven't yet, so that we can upgrade the blue hangar, with new skin windows, improve the height of the door. That will be the project on the books for this year, using the infrastructure funds from the BIL that was passed, as well as our annual allotment for the airport improvement funds, that we get every year, so. General, well, in sewer and water, we are anticipating updating our SCADA system. I haven't gotten a quote back yet, but that number may or may not change in there. I doubt it will change very much. They gave me a ballpark. But we need to update our SCADA as our software that we're currently running is out of date, and nobody, Prairie States Communications will not do a maintenance with it anymore, so. It's continuing to run, but the computer started to make noises.
So every once in a while it scares me, and I have to listen to nasty noises all day.
And then as well as updated Jesse's computer. And we're 2020 Technologies has provided us with a quote for some networking and IT services that we desperately need. Jesse, have the background to do that stuff within the office. I mean, I can YouTube it all day long, but We really need someone professional, and this company was recommended by the school.
And just contract it out.
And Renee Seiler, so.
And a few of the cities.
And they have a few cities, so I did feel good about the number that they gave us, so.
We did want to also, on the electric department, we have the fiscal policy of 100,000 profit. We're shy 50. We have still budgeted that 50 to finish out the Main Street project, but we still are feeling like it could potentially be that we don't need to transfer that money. But, so that's why we don't have it right at 100 this year.
We'll know more once project completion, but yeah, based on what we've received and what's left to bill out and what we billed out last year. I don't, at this point, I don't think we need that additional 50. But we're gonna budget just in case, and if we don't need it. Please. Economic development, that's another easy one. We just talked about a little bit, the transfer there. Last year, you guys said we wanna put 25,000 back into that, so that's that number. Nothing really hair raising on there. Debt service, we worked with, Tracy, like I told you, to come up with sort of those numbers, our auditor. We already did CRA and cemetery, CDBG, there's nothing this year, it's really zero. And nothing proposed either, I did have a chance to talk with Amy, she does not think they'll have any OLR. ARPA, that's just gonna be whatever we accrue in interest this year, and then expend, you guys have designated those funds, or a portion of those funds, to go towards the sewer main extension project, which did come in lower, but when we bid it, it might be right at, or we'll see, so.
Or you guys then could even just do it towards the whole project, water and sewer or something maybe. So,
Yeah, cause it wasn't much, I think when Tom had done the estimate, it was around 186, so there's gonna be about $10,000 left over to play with. So, yeah, we would still have to designate the remaining amount of the funds if the bids come in at that same price to the project as a whole or something else that dealt with the ARPA.
and it had to be done by December of 2024.
All the funds have to be designated by 2024. And they have to be expended by 2026. We can do it. We sure can, and I believe we will. I believe we will.
Alright. Any additional information we need before next?
It's kind of high level, but I mean, that's a good place to start. You guys will have these worksheets, so if you have anything, if there's any changes, obviously, that Jesse and I noticed, or corrections or mistakes, we'll send them out to you right away, as we spend more time with these documents as well. Or that Tracy notices, as she has a copy of these documents as well. We'll get those out to you. Otherwise, stop by if you need explanation on something or wanna know, hey, what's this for, you know? Just give us a jingle and one of us will be able to help you.
Alright, very good.
Oh, no, real quick, on the general, I wanna also say, so the reason it's in blue is because we have the taxes, we always set that number at the recommendation of the auditor, and then whatever you guys wanna ask for your tax asking, so that number is definitely gonna change. That's why it's highlighted in blue on the general worksheet. So that's not a set in stone number, that was a placeholder based on what I had for rough estimates on valuation, so.
And your guess of what maybe the council would like to.
Yeah,
potentially-
and I was able to plug some numbers into that postcard formula, so I kind of know where that threshold is between a yes postcard and a no postcard. So,
Do you know the cost for us to send a postcard?
I don't, because they've only done it 1 year, and it will vary, like, last year it was the college that had to send it out. If it's just the city, it's gonna be different than what the college cost. All of that, from my understanding, I was able to go to a county commissioners meeting on Monday, and Rita and the NACO deputy director was able to give an explanation on some of that, but it all goes through NACO, Nebraska Association of County Officials, I think. They bill it out, the county sends it, I believe all the money comes back to NACO for that, then to the state, obviously. But they don't even have a good guess at what it
Well,
costs.
and it depends, because you do share some of that cost then too, if there is more than one.
So if it was us in the county, or us in the school, or us in the college, then there would be a shared cost for that postcard, because it's only one postcard with everyone on it. It wouldn't be just the city paying for the total expense. Okay. So. But based on Rita's comments, I can tell you it's not gonna be cheap.
You want to put a line item to sell them, Aaron?
No,
All right.
I guess we'll find out after you tell me how much we wanna exceed the threshold or not. After the workshop.
And we did, like last year, we were able to drop that debt service, so you guys had more wiggle room in there because of that also. So, and we'll be able to do that a little bit again, potentially this year.
All right, on to bills and claims. Everyone get a chance to look at.
So let's buy local, shop local.
Yeah.
Continue to buy local and shop local. That's really helping that.
Well, it really helped when the whatever people bought online comes back to us.
3 years ago, when that started, that was huge. That was huge. So legislatures do get something right every once in a while.
They did good. All right, bills and claims. Everyone get a chance to look at bills and claims? Yep. All right.
I move to accept bills and claims in the amount of $306,206.11.
Andrea moved, Tierney second, that we accept bills and claims in the amount of $306,206.11. Any discussion on bills and claims? Sam, how do you vote?
Yes.
Andrea? Yes. Tierney? Kimberly? Yes. Motion carried. We are adjourned at 9:12. Sorry about the birthday party.
She wanted to come party with us, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
How much more exciting than she is.
Yes.